All right, this is our pre-crude.
Yeah, we're going to go see Crude here in about an hour.
That's okay. We are going to see Creed tonight.
Yes, or basically Rocky 7.
Yeah, pretty much. And we were going to go last week, but then the storm came.
Yes, we had here in
and
Oklahoma.
then I felt pretty bad with the ear infection, which I still have, but I feel better though.
That's good. And if a lot of you aren't sure, if a lot of you don't know, we had a really bad ice storm last weekend. It was we had like 5 days without no sunshine.
Half the unit was out of power.
Oh, I tell you, by Sunday night, I was really depressed.
Oh, I was too.
I was terribly depressed.
I don't like ice storms.
I don't either because you can't get out, you can't do anything.
You can't do nothing.
And
they always come when you got no food in the house.
I know. And my sweet little doggie who just turned 13 was having some health issues. And she kind of has the beginnings of senility, and I was very worried about that. And I was like, I have to go back to school on Monday, and I don't want to, and I just want to stay home and watch Bond movies.
Don't we all?
Yeah,
don't we all?
I mean, this was bad because I didn't even want to play. You know what's bad when I don't even want to play?
Like your gig?
The piano.
Oh, yeah.
I just did. I mean, I just like, I don't want
well, it's the weather.
It is.
Man, that was. And it wasn't as bad as the O2 ice storm.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was really bad.
But this was pretty. This was second bad.
It was. And, you know, another reason I was probably depressed, I don't think I'd been taking my medicine very regularly.
What?
Either, so.
You need to take your medicine. Take your medicine. Take your medicine.
I have to take mood-altering medications.
Oh, poor Steven.
But, hey, it keeps
Welcome
me,
to
keeps
therapy.
me going. Therapy, yes.
Before
you all
Crude.
didn't know that. I have anxiety, and I have to take medicine for it. So.
Wait, are you having anxiety now?
Not right now.
That's good. My stomach hurts.
I have every now and then. Mine did last night.
We
talked about that on the last podcast.
Let's talk about it again.
Well, my stomach hurt last night. It was really bad.
Did you get the sweat?
No.
We won't go in that, Stu. I'm sorry.
Did you say we won't go there, Stu?
Yeah, he's all listening.
Well, Rob.
And Anthony, maybe.
And Anthony.
Yeah,
the Troika, the big three.
Yeah, let's call them. That's what they are.
Churchill, Stalin, and FDR.
Yeah, that's
the big
who they
three.
So, yeah. I guess Churchill would be Stu.
Yeah, because he's from the United Kingdom.
But Rob and Anthony, they're from here.
Well, where are they going to sit? Where?
Stalin as our co-pilot.
Uncle Joe, as I fall out of the chair. What was I going to say? We were talking about medicine. No.
Yeah, I want to talk about the sweats.
Because I said something and I was going with that, and then I don't know. Yes, I have anxiety. No, I don't have anxiety right now. That's what you said. Do you have anxiety right now? Every now and then I have these little
bobcat in there. That's Sammy. I don't know.
That's a Sam cat.
I don't know if that picked up on that.
That'd be funny if it did. Sometimes earlier podcasts I have heard him on there.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
We should just mic him.
I want to sometime. Just for the hell of it, Diet Coke. I'd like to do that sometime. But yeah, sometimes I get these really strange experiences, and sometimes they're kind of out-of-body experiences.
Do.
Yeah, where I just feel like, am I really here?
That's what you're trying to go back to the other dimension.
Probably so.
You have to watch one of the Goodnight Sleepyhead shows where I had a dream that Steven was actually from a different dimension.
And I had a coloring book that had music in it.
Oh, and that's the whole Sal's Pizza and iPhone. That's where that song came from.
Sal's Pizza and iPhone, yes.
That's where that came from. Oh, Good times. Good memories.
Yes, those were good memories. Early April 2015.
Good times, great place. At McDonald's.
But every now and then I have these spells where, they're never very long because I've kind of trained myself whenever these start happening, I have to think about something pleasant because they make
Donald Pleasant?
Yes, I think about Blofeld. But when these happen, I just become very, I don't know, it's... The best way I can describe it, I feel like I'm 5 or 6 years old, and I'm at the Quail Springs Mall in Oklahoma City, and there's a big show going on, and I'm a part of it or something.
Did that really happen to you?
No, but that's what it makes. I always feel like my cousin Harvey, rest in peace, Harvey. I feel like he's there with his band, and his family's there, and it's just really awkward. And I don't know why. I always feel that way. But
I think you're the only person in the universe that's ever felt that.
I think what they are, I think it's a form of an anxiety attack.
Oh yeah. That's weird. You associate that all with that.
I know, but I've that's just what I always think of. But Jason, I think I've had these ever since I was at least 6. 6.
Wow.
I've had them ever since I was a kid.
Wow.
And I've just learned with a little bit of counseling that when that happens, don't think about it. Think about something pleasant. Take your mind off of it.
Pleasant?
Yeah, I like Blofeld. But every now and then, but when that happens, I just tend to. We were going to talk about Creed. But when that happens, I just think about something pleasant, and within 5 minutes, it's gone, and I'm okay. But that is kind of that's what it is. It's an anxiety attack. That's exactly what it is. But it's not like I'm.
That was the other day, though.
Yeah, that was the other day. But okay.
So.
My foot's hurting. I got to put my leg up.
So we are going
arthritis.
By the time
You want me to talk about my arthritis too?
When we get back.
Okay.
So we are probably in about 5 minutes going to see Creed.
Oh yeah, we got to go see it, don't we? Holy cow! I'm just sitting here talking and talking and talking. Oh, like, damn it, we got a movie to go see. Just for the hell of it, Diet Coke.
Okay, so when we'll be gone for an hour 33 minutes. No, that's not long it is it? Well, whatever. But we'll only be gone for a second for you guys.
Yes.
So we'll be
right
back.
This portion brought to you by Nice Black Cherry flavored sparkling water beverage with other natural flavors.
That's nice. All right, we just got back from the movie Crud.
Crude.
Crude. Why do I keep messing it up?
I don't know. Well, they sound similar. Crud, crude, creed. Whatever you want to call it.
So we
Rocky 7.
Rocky 7. We literally have not talked about the movie since we've left. We left the theater, and it takes about 5 minutes to get to my house from the theater.
We left at 12:50.
Yeah.
It's 1:11.
Oh, well,
now.
okay. If you do it that way, that's a little bit longer.
But we've been here for a while, too.
That's true. And we have not talked about the movie. And so this is the first time that you'll hear. I'll hear Steven's opinion, and he'll hear my opinion. But
how did that go again?
But
thank you.
I'll let you go first.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, I thought that there were some good moments in the film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always something. That there is a quality about the Rocky franchise that really, I mean, you can sense the struggles at the, well, of course you can. You're seeing it on the screen. Mm-hmm. It's late. It's 1:12 a.m.
And there will be spoilers. So
yes.
we're gonna. If you haven't seen the movie, stop listening to us right now and come back.
There are moments in that film, as there are in all the Rocky films, where the drama just kind of kicks you in the gut because it's so realistic. I mean, there's always something. Going back to the second Rocky 2, whenever Adrian fell sick right before she gave birth to Robert and was comatose for, I can't remember how long. It seemed like a couple weeks. In the third film, when Mickey dies. In the fourth film, when Apollo dies. I mean, there are so many. I guess what I'm trying to say is these characters, even though when you see them on the screen they seem larger than life, they face the same problems that you and I face. I mean, hardships, facing your own mortality, and we really got a glimpse of that in this film. Of course, again, if you haven't seen it, these are spoilers, so don't listen to us. But Rocky is faced with his own mortality in this film when he realizes that he has cancer. And this is a man that has lost so much. He lost his beloved trainer, Mickey, and then he lost his best friend, Apollo. And then when Rocky Balboa came out in 2006, we'd learned that Adrian had died of ovarian cancer. And since then, yo, Polly, you talk crazy. Polly has died. So all he's got left is his son. And as we find out, Robert is in Vancouver, Canada. And, you know, as Rocky says, he hears from him from time to time. But Rocky is essentially, and I thought he was definitely in Rocky Balboa. In Rocky Balboa, when the film starts, we've learned that Adrian has died. He's gone back to the exact same way it was when the first movie came out in 1976. He's got Paulie, and that's it. In 2006, he's got Paulie, and that's it. But in this film, he really doesn't have anyone. So that's a whole new level of the loneliness that has always kind of been so prevalent in a lot of the films. But yeah, Rocky faces his own mortality and the you know, which is something that all of us are going to face. Jason shakes his head no. But again, the problems that we see on the screen are everyday problems that we all have faced or might face. And when it comes to mortality, will face. Except for Jason, because he likes chess. But I'll have a lot more to say, but those are kind of my opening remarks of the movie Crude. Cancer. Don't do it.
Yeah. So,
did any of that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked it is 1:15 in the morning, and we are tired. We've had long days.
So, I thought the part where Rocky finds out he's sick, I said I knew that was coming.
I did too.
I said, okay, here's a formula for Rocky: good, bad, good. And that's what happens in every Rocky movie, pretty much.
It is.
And so I said, you know what?
You're exactly right.
He's old. He's going to start facing, he's going to get sick.
Exactly.
And then he's up there, with Adonis.
Adonis.
Yeah, Adonis.
Adonis.
And nickname they call him Donnie, so I'm going to call him Donnie. So he's up there with Donnie, and he's looking pretty ragged. And I was like, this is the moment where
you can. Yeah, in some movies with certain characters, you can sense that they're not well.
Mm-hmm.
And with this one, I'd seen a trailer, and it's shown him in a hospital bed, so I knew something was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I kept wondering, all right, when's it going to come? When's it happening?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like when some films where you see that person slowly getting worse and worse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, the example that came to my head was Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. Because well, you'd have to see that movie.
I haven't seen it.
But he is a man who ends up getting cancer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great movie, by the way. That is one that will just pull at your heart. But I kept wondering, when's that going to happen? And there was no build-up. I mean, it just, boom, there it was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he got sick. Couldn't walk, almost passed out, it seemed like, and next thing you know, there he is in a hospital bed.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I knew that was coming. But you know what? It didn't bother me.
No, it didn't me either.
I just knew they were going to do a whole story on Rocky's age. Because
Right.
you knew that was coming. Because
Right.
they talked about it right at the very beginning where Donnie meets Rocky. You're like, he's old, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, but that didn't bother me too much. So let's talk about Michael B. Jordan. Do you like Michael B. Jordan in that movie?
That was the first thing I'd ever seen him in, and I thought he did. I thought he did a good job as Donnie, as Apollo's son.
I've only let's see. Let me see what.
I mean,
what
I can't. I don't have much of an opinion on him because I haven't seen him in anything else. But I thought he delivered. He had his performance. He delivered a good performance as a kid who had really been through a lot of hell in his life.
Okay, I've only looking through his IMDb. He was on All My Children. Anyway, but back in the day, he must have been a kid or something.
Weren't we all though? You know something? I'm older than him.
Yeah,
He was born in 1987. I was born in 1983. that is the second film that we have seen together where one of the lead actors or actresses, I'm like, I'm older than them. That's weird. I don't see that a whole lot.
He's only other movie I seen him in was his last movie, The Fantastic Four, and that movie wasn't fantastic at all.
Was it 4?
Huh?
Was it 4?
Was it 4?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
You said it wasn't fantastic at all, so I'm asking, was it 4?
Oh, gotcha. No, it wasn't even 4. It was. I thought everybody sucked in that movie. The acting was bad. I didn't think he fit in that role as the Human Torch. I was like, oh god.
Was Michael Jordan the Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
Don't want to get him confused with Chicago Bulls. Was Michael B. Jordan the Human Torch?
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, a lot of controversy about they took a white character to a black character. No, that's not it. It just wasn't good. The storyline, his acting,
has nothing to do about color.
Yeah,
just
the other guys weren't good either. So when you said, okay, let's go see Creed, I was like, oh yeah. And I forgot Michael B. Jordan was going to be in it. Watched the trailer like a couple days ago, and I'm like,
him.
All right. So anyway, he blew me away. I thought he was great.
I did too.
I was like, wow, this guy, he was just in a bad movie, in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That
kind of gave
really good.
I gave you a bad introduction to him, I guess.
The whole, at the very beginning, it starts off when he was young, and it explains, he was the legitimate child of Apollo Creed.
Right. And we learned that Apollo had an affair.
Yeah. And
didn't know about that.
So that explains why, he has to prove his name, At first he doesn't want to be called Creed.
He goes
which
by,
I thought that was cool.
He uses his mother's name, Johnson. Adonis Johnson.
And so I thought that was cool. And, everybody was really good in this movie. Sylvester Stallone was good.
Oh, yeah. And as always, there was a lot of classic Rocky-isms in the film,
definitely. Felicia Rashad.
The whole iCloud thing was funny.
Oh, yeah, the whole iCloud joke.
It's in the cloud. I was like,
he looks up in the sky.
What cloud? Yo, Adrian. What? Yo, Adonis. What cloud?
Felicia Rashad, she was a good actor. She was good in this.
Yeah, even
not
though
much Cosby show in her. She can.
Oh no. We weren't watching Claire Huxtable, but at one point I saw her, and then I saw Tessa Thompson. That was that girl's name that was Bianca, and I thought, well, what the hell's Lisa Bonet doing in this film? It's like, there's Denise.
I thought they resembled each other.
Yeah. But I don't like to talk a whole lot about that anymore.
No, we won't talk about Cosby.
I feel betrayed.
So
I loved that man as a little boy.
Everybody was good in that movie. I'm really blown away how great that movie was. The fight scenes were filmed great.
Yes.
I mean,
in the
looked
classic,
like you were really in the fight.
Yeah.
They were just. Whoever that cameraman was, and the director. The director is a new guy. He's only directed a couple movies, and he wrote this movie too. Ryan Coogler, Coogler, and he's rumored to do the Black Panther movie, another Marvel movie.
Oh, it's not about It's not about oh gosh, what's
the
his
Black
name?
Panthers in the 70s.
Yeah.
No. It's there's a superhero called
Huey P. Newton.
Who?
Leader of the Black Panther Party.
No, I'm 99% sure.
Named after Huey P. Long.
It's going to be after the Marvel character, Black
okay.
Panther.
Okay.
But so they did a really, really good job filming it, and I love that when you first meet each fighter, it goes bing, and it shows the little title card.
It shows
right
their
there.
stats.
Their
that
stats.
was very cool. That was
like,
very
oh.
HBO.
Yeah, I loved it.
Pay-per-view. I thought that was very cool. And back to the fight sequence in Rocky Balboa, they filmed that fight prior to an actual pro boxing
is that
match.
how they did that?
Yes,
Oh,
out in
that's
Las
cool.
Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what gave it the legitimacy. I mean, and they used the whole HBO Saturday Night Fight setup on that, and that was so
Very
cool. Have
cool.
you seen Rocky Balboa?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then you remember that then.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, in that movie, they had three guys, and I couldn't remember their names. There's Max Kellerman and Jim Lampley, the two commentators. They are actual commentators.
That's what I thought.
Yes, and Michael Buffer, the announcer, that famous "Let's get ready to rumble."
That was him in this movie too.
Yes, and he was in.
I thought
they
he
were
was
all
dead.
in Rocky Balboa as well.
I thought he was dead.
No, he was very
Somewhere
much
I thought
alive.
he passed away.
So that was cool, and that's one of the things that.
Did he say "Let's Ready to Rumble" in this one?
Yes, he did.
That's
That's one of the things that Stallone's always done. He's gotten real boxing people for these films,
Well, good.
which is awesome.
That's
So
great.
it was cool to see the return of those three guys.
Mm-hmm.
But
Of course, in like kind of like Rocky 1, he knew he was going to win his first fight against that guy, and then
you talking about Spider Rico?
yeah, because
At the very beginning, yes, the pre-titles.
no. When the Donnie's first fight in the movie.
Oh, you're talking about. Okay, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you were talking about Rocky.
No, I'm talking.
Okay.
I'm back to
The
this one.
original.
Yeah. So I knew he was going to win the first fight, which he has to win the first fight because if he didn't, the movie would have been over.
Yeah, I mean,
And I thought that was a very interesting.
where's he going to box? Where? Apollo is his co-pilot.
I thought that was a very interesting because what was that guy's name? Well, the first guy he fought was from Mick's gym.
Yeah, his name was like Sparino or something.
Yeah, something like that. And his dad was his trainer.
Yes.
And his dad was jealous because Rocky didn't train his son.
Mm-hmm.
So that's clever.
Mm-hmm. That was
And
a
then,
cool addition there. to
Of
the
course,
storyline.
Donnie won, and then he eventually fights this fighter from the UK.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of
Conlon, I think.
Yeah, he was in trouble with guns and stuff. You can't really have guns over there like they do here.
Yeah, that's true.
So he got in trouble with all that, and so to capitalize the PR stunt, they just want.
Oh yeah.
They set it up to fight Creed.
Exactly.
And,
I mean, it's always a setup,
I would have been upset. Okay, here's major spoilers. I would have been upset if Creed won that last fight because I'm like, oh come on.
And that goes back to Rocky because the first fight with Apollo, it was it was a draw, and Rocky didn't win.
No,
He did not.
He didn't.
He did not.
And so I thought it was cool that he didn't win, and it's kind of homage to the first Rocky.
It was. And speaking of little throwbacks, there were several. I mean, we saw, of course, Rocky with the black hat, but in this one, he had the ball.
Yeah.
And that was going way
Is that
back.
is that a racquetball?
I don't know. It just looked like it might have been.
It was small. So
Yeah,
I
just
figured.
a small
Or a handball.
A handball.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And then, of course, we saw. It was kind of sad because instead of I don't know which turtle it was because Rocky had two turtles, Cuff and Link.
Yeah, saying that.
Well, in this film,
He only had one.
there's only one turtle,
Well,
so one of them must have died.
It symbolizes, Rocky's alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even one of his turtles is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there is
Did turtles live? Oh, yeah, turtles live that
They
long.
have long lives,
Yeah.
I think. But it was, there was that very lovely scene where Rocky goes to the cemetery, and again, that chair is still in the tree.
Yeah, that was
And he
great.
sits in front of the graves of Adrian and Polly and
Paulie,
talks to them and tells them what's going on. And that was a very sweet, it's very bittersweet moment in the film.
Why
But,
is Adrian and Polly buried there and Mick's buried in the mausoleum?
well, Mickey was a Jew.
Oh.
So he was probably, I think,
probably
if I
a setup
recall,
for
the
him.
mausoleum had Stars of David.
Yeah.
And he was, yes, Mickey Goldmill. His character was a Jew. So he was probably buried in a Jewish mausoleum.
That's probably right.
Actually, he was, because I saw the Stars of David on there.
And so
Every time we listen to this and we hear the Stars of David part, and then you laugh, we'll be like, yeah, we know what he's laughing.
no one else would.
No one else.
Stu won't know.
No.
But
Unless he watches Cannonball Run.
so yeah, I thought that was cool. A little throwback to the previous movie.
Yes.
At the cemetery scene. He don't have a girlfriend in this one because he's kind of seeing that girl at the very end of Rocky Balboa. They kind of liked each other.
Yeah. There was never a real relationship. I mean, a heavy relationship.
Mm-hmm. But this movie's really not supposed to be. It is, but it's more of for Donnie Creed
Right.
Johnson.
Right.
So his love interest, So Rocky really didn't need one. He's old,
Yeah.
That would.
Rocky
I think if he had
a 69-year-old man.
yeah, if he had a love interest, it would take away from Donnie's
Yeah,
story.
and the story was not so much about Rocky,
Which is cool.
Yeah, this was. I mean, we jokingly said Rocky 7. Well, not so much. It's about Adonis.
Yeah, and that's good. It's like passing the torch.
Yeah, exactly.
To the next. So
the torch has been passed to a new generation.
Exactly.
Tempered by war. Sorry.
Exactly, President Kennedy.
Thank
exactly.
You. We got to talk about that in a little while.
President Kennedy.
Remember?
Oh yes,
that was weird.
Okay, yeah. So let's finish this first.
Okay. And there was something else you were going to talk about. Oh, you got to talk about the theater.
Yeah.
Because we almost had a
incident.
An incident.
So, I think the fight scenes out, they look like they were really punching each other. That's what's great about Rocky.
Yeah, and the sounds, the sound effects are more realistic. I know in Rocky Balboa, the fight between Mason Dixon and Rocky, the punch sounds you hear, if I recall, those are real.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really throwing punches.
Mm-hmm. And the part where Donnie gets knocked out, and I was kind of thinking, nah, it's not over. But if it's over, that's
because that immediately when he went down, I mean, I'm thinking, okay, he went down just like his dad.
Yeah, but I didn't think he got killed though, like his dad.
Right.
But I just thought, I was like, okay, that'd be a bold way to end the movie. Mm-hmm. So if they ended the movie there, I've been happy. I'm like, wow, okay, what are we going to do here?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
but when
we'll all go home.
Ouch. He started having those flashbacks, right?
Yes.
And then they, of everything that's happened in the movie. But then they cut to, like, I think probably Rocky 1.
I think it was.
And I thought that was interesting.
Right, and it showed Apollo. And
Apollo,
at that minute, I mean, Adonis opened his eyes and he just popped right back up.
The sound, though.
Yeah, there was a strange noise.
It kind of scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. Kind of like the air is being sucked up. How'd that go again? Oh, wow.
So you had to finish podcast. I don't got a voice. But
anybody home?
Okay, when he got knocked out, right, by the champ.
Yeah.
He fell to the ground, and everyone's like, "Dang!" In the theater.
Oh yeah, and I even heard some woman go, "Get up."
Yeah, I did hear that too.
Yeah.
And a couple people, gasp and all that.
And that's cool when those happen.
But you know what?
Movies kind of coming into real life.
Why did those people probably to the left of us, probably a seat or two row back? Why did they start laughing? Because I started laughing.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I didn't laugh.
I did because they started laughing. That's an inappropriate part to laugh.
Right.
But I'm like,
let's very quickly, because it ties into this, the laughing part. Let's talk about when you and I watched Rocky at Northern Oklahoma College on the big screen.
Yeah, we laughed at the inappropriate part. Okay, Rocky goes into the
he goes into the Madison Square Garden
right before the fight, maybe a day before the fight or something.
It's supposed to, I think, it was probably because that fight was January 1st, 1976.
So he looks up at his big old poster of him, right? Mm-hmm. And then it cuts to Apollo's poster.
And he's got just this great big happy smile.
We laughed so hard. And the guy in front of us kind of turned to us.
And he started laughing too, if I recall.
Yeah, it was very inappropriate for us to laugh, but it was so funny.
I know.
It was funny.
We still guffaw about that.
So, I guess we pretty much give the ending away because he didn't win, obviously.
Right.
And I'm glad he didn't. Oh, I liked it when the crowd started cheering his name at the end.
Yes. And that is, very reminiscent of Rocky IV. Whenever they start the Russians start chanting Rocky.
Mm-hmm. Then Gorbachev slowly stands up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that was cool. That's still, my favorite movies. Rocky. I rate them. I mean, there's so many of them, but the three that I just really, really love is Rocky, and this is the order: Rocky, Rocky Balboa, Rocky IV. Those three are my top favorites.
No Rocky 2 in there?
Well, Rocky 2 is okay. Don't get me started on Rocky 5. That's a travesty in itself. That's about as bad as Flash Beagle.
Yeah, that was... Was that actually in the movies, or did that go directly to the home video?
I thought it was in theaters. But
maybe so.
I'm not sure.
But like a week later, it was in the home video.
Maybe.
I watched it out. I rented it from the Hastings over there, the video store.
It's not good.
No, he loses everything there, doesn't he?
I know. And that one there, that was supposed to be taking it all the way back to the beginning. Rocky Balboa is what took it all the way back to the beginning because he's just got Paulie.
Yeah, that's right. They definitely did a good job in Rocky Balboa. Have you seen the alternative endings to those?
Yes.
Where he actually won.
Where Rocky won the fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think because it wasn't finished, there was some really at the very end of that fight some sloppy editing, but I think I liked it that he didn't win too.
I liked it that way. I didn't care for the alternate ending. I like something that I think Kellerman said it, or either Jim Lampley, I can't remember, but they said Conler wins the fight, but Creed wins the night.
Oh yeah, and
that was very cool.
Movie tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Say it
very
again.
Cool. Conler wins the fight, but Creed wins the night.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah, the only okay. Let's talk about the parts. Well, let me rate my Rockies.
Okay.
I like Rocky 1 because it's the first. Then I like Rocky. I don't like. I'm just going to go in order. What I think of Rocky 1, I like because it's the original. Rocky 2, it was played over and over.
See,
on
that's
HBO.
the one I know, and I would always see that.
I really thought that was Rocky 1.
Oh, I did too.
Because I'm like, well, that's
always played
weird.
it.
Why did they call it Rocky 2? This is the first one.
That's what I thought.
Uh-huh.
And they always played it. I remember seeing it. It was always on, like, I use HBO, but I always remember it being on, like, the Superstation.
Yeah,
TBS.
Yeah. I remember those days.
I played it to death.
Then I definitely liked Rocky 3, but I didn't like his hair. It was just
his hair. He was.
That's
going
man grandma hair.
Yeah, it was going a little more 80s in Rocky.
Yeah,
3, but there's some powerful moments in that one.
Yeah,
very powerful moments.
And I definitely like Rocky 4. I was very sad when Apollo died. I always liked Apollo.
I did too.
He's.
I
was a little bit upset. I was like, man, he's kind of a jerk in the first one.
Apollo was never so much a villain. He was a rival. Mm-hmm. Clubber Lang was a villain.
Yes. Yeah.
Ivan Drago was a villain.
Yeah, I didn't like him at all.
Tommy Gunn was stupid.
Yeah.
I just remember Tommy Gunn, Rocky Balboa, and George Washington Duke. I mean, that's a total takeoff on Don King.
Yeah.
Not Don Ho, but Don King.
And then
Rocky Balboa.
I love Rocky Balboa, and I really like the one tonight. I think they definitely did a good job.
I think the whole series, I know I just did those 3. I didn't really rate them. I just was saying those were always the 3 that I really liked. I think I would rate it Rocky Balboa, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 2, Creed, and then Rocky 5.
Wow, you got kind of Creed down there. Huh?
I think that's kind of how I would rate it.
Wow.
So.
And
if I see in seeing Creed more and more, that might change.
Yeah. Here's the way I would rate mine. Rocky, Creed, and then Rocky Balboa.
You got it way high up on there.
Then Rocky 4.
That's cool.
Rocky. I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan really sold that movie for me.
He did a good job on it.
He went from crappy acting to great acting.
Yeah.
So
he redeemed himself.
He's definitely. It's not Fantastic Four. Is not his problem. It's the director who directed Fantastic Four. Excuse me. But anyway, so I really liked that movie.
I did too.
I think
just because I rated it low doesn't mean I didn't like it.
Oh yeah.
And like I say, it may. I mean, those first 4 that I named are so great. It's just going to have to work its way up.
I don't think though. I would watch this again though. It's one of those movies that's so great, I don't want to ever see it again.
Yeah, I hear you. Is this something that I will buy when it comes out? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe not. I might want to rent it from time to time or watch it when it's on TV. But I mean, I actually only have 2 Rocky films in my possession: Rocky and Rocky Balboa. I mean, those 2 are the ones.
I have Rocky Balboa somewhere.
Do you? Those were the 2 Rocky films that just really kind of tore my heart out. And those are my top 2. They always will be, I think. Okay, now let's talk about this. Right after the fight with Sperino, we're back in Rocky's house. They're sitting on the couch. You've got Bianca, whose music I did not like
at
all.
That's Donnie's
terrible.
girlfriend.
Yes, her music was terrible. You had Bianca. You had Adonis, who was passed out. and then you've got Rocky, and in front of him is a coffee table with Breyer's Oreo ice cream cartons, and it switches over to the TV. They're watching Skyfall.
I know, that's cool.
The scene where the train in
the subway.
In the subway comes through, and you see Daniel Craig for a second. I was like, and I said it out loud. I said, "They're watching Skyfall." I love
great
that.
MGM James Bond connection.
Yes, it
there
was. It certainly was.
It was pretty cool. We were very excited at that moment.
Oh, I was like, "That's Skyfall." I love it.
So yeah, that's awesome.
And if there are other things about the movie that I want to say, I just can't think of them right now. I'm sure I will later. But all in all, I thought it was great.
The only part I didn't like you just said, it was Bianca's music. I mean,
I didn't care for that at all.
I mean, it's not supposed to be catered to us.
No,
but
it's
I can
kind of experimental synth.
But yeah,
trance.
I wrote this song for you. I'm like, what is that? That's not music. That's noise.
I know.
Our mini songs are better than that.
I know.
It was funny though when Michael B. Jordan was rapping though. That song,
cheesecake, cheesesteak. That was.
Yeah, that was funny.
I think the scene that I did not really care for, and this was a throwback to Rocky's scene where he's on his way to victory, where they would always use "Gonna Fly Now." But you had Adonis, and he was wearing a get-up similar to what Rocky wore, gray hoodie and sweatpants. And he's
just at
ready
the
for
final fight.
Yes, right before the final fight. What's up with all the motorcycles and the 4x4s?
Oh, you talking about when he at the very last?
That
workout.
was weird.
Well, they said that's what those kids do in Philadelphia. I mean, maybe that's what they do in Philadelphia. That's not an Oklahoma thing. Almost.
Did they say that in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I missed that.
Maybe
was that whenever I had to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe that's what that was. Yeah, that's what that was about. There is actually a scene in there. Maybe you were in the bathroom. Because I was going to comment about that. I'll hear in a second.
Oh.
Yeah.
When I went to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was
something funny happened when I was out there?
No, well, I was just going to say that you planned your bathrooms at the breaks at the right time.
Yeah, I was like, okay, here they are negotiating the fight. I'm going to go pee.
Yeah, that was excellent because you really didn't miss anything. Yeah. But no,
I knew what was happening. They're working it out.
There's actually a scene where I think, where they're walking up to the new gym, not the mixed gym, but the other gym.
What was it called? The
West Craven? No, I'm just kidding. Gym.
West Front or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, Rocky pointed to the kid's like, Donnie's like, what's up with those guys or something like that. And that's what they do in Philadelphia. They pop a wheelie,
Oh, that was good.
Oh, thank you. So that, maybe I would have to say the theater sound sucked. It's like one of the speakers were blown.
Theater sound has never been.
Yeah, but it sounded like one of the speakers were blown, and it just didn't sound right.
Yeah, and all the dialogue, if you
had a little buzz to it.
Yeah, it was all.
So.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. So
you talk crazy.
Yeah, that's what the whole bike thing was about.
Yeah. Okay. So
is that better?
Okay, that explains it a little more. I just thought that's kind of a little out of place, but no, that makes sense.
All right. So
during the fight, I do want to say they brought back some of the original Bill Conti score.
Oh yeah.
They used the trumpet fanfare from "Gonna Fly Now." They used, and then they went into "Going the Distance," which is the big piece of music that is used for the fight between Rocky and Apollo. Mm-hmm. So they did use some of Conti's original music. And I want to say, Bill Conti, he scored Rocky 1, 2, 3. He didn't do 4. Vince DiCola did 4. Vince DiCola did the music to the Transformers movie. Blech. And I think he did Rocky 5. And I think DiCola scored Rocky Balboa. I mean, not DiCola, Bill Conti scored Rocky Balboa. His music to the Rocky franchise, to the Rocky saga, is what John Barry is to the James Bond saga.
Oh, yeah.
That music just, it defines everything about Rocky, as did Barry with James Bond. And I've always been a huge fan of Bill Conti's scores to the movies. And, You know, Bill Conti actually scored one Bond film.
Oh, yeah, which one?
For Your Eyes Only. And the music is not that great.
That's the one we don't
I know.
So slow.
Yeah.
Why is it so slow? You know, Bond shoots a couple of people, and the movie's just kind of drugs.
Rocky Balboa reviews Bond films.
You know, I would have just, kind of just did that and then shoot Blofeld, but it was not the ones that had Blofeld in it. So.
Apollo Blofeld.
Apollo Blofeld.
Clubber Blofeld.
Clubber Blofeld. And Q was Parley, you know.
Parley, yo, Q, you talk funny.
And the bongo was Adrian.
I never joke about my work, 007. But, yeah.
So, let's wrap this up.
I had to mention that about. Okay.
So, would you... Well, we just said that. So, let's do it this way, like I rate action figures. Good job, MGM, needs improvement, MGM, or dog vomit? How would you rate this movie?
I would rate it good job, MGM.
Yes, I would rate it good job,
now,
MGM. Now,
we do have a few more things we need to discuss real quickly.
Yes. Let's talk about the events of the theater.
The events of the theater.
So,
okay.
Here's a special segment when we do movie reviews. The events at the theater.
Yes.
Da-da-da.
How'd that music go?
Da-da-da.
Thank you very much.
So you want to go first?
You go first.
So, we buy our ticket, and if you watched our Spectre review, it was supposed to be Theater 3. No, we didn't talk about that yet, did we?
On this one?
Spectre, no, on the last podcast. On the last movie review, I went on and on how crappy
yes,
Theater 8 was.
That was the Spectre podcast.
Yeah, we went like 15 minutes talking about how crap.
Stu got a kick out of that.
So, Steven went to see the Spectre for the third time, and you'll eventually hear that review again.
We'll have to make that one.
So he went to in theater in our Showplex movie theater.
What the hell's a Showplex?
I know. In Showplex, there's one theater in there that only has 3 rows.
It's like, yeah, you saw it.
Yeah, and we got our ticket, and I said, "What theater did you see that last time you saw Skyfall in?" And Steven said, Theater 3. And we looked at the ticket, and that's where our theater was.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, crap. So we go in there.
You bought a bag of popcorn.
I never buy popcorn, but I was like, I need popcorn.
Yeah, you deserve it.
I deserve popcorn.
You were going to have to sit in the bad theater.
Yes.
Really bad
3 rows of seats. Probably 18, if it sits 18.
Probably
It's like
so.
a freaking closet. That's all it is.
Pretty much. I mean, you walk in there.
You do have a big screen, but there's only 3 rows.
I know.
Where
are they going to sit? Where? Nobody's our co-pilot.
Exactly. So we get into Theater 3, and it was a full-size theater.
Yeah. I was totally confused.
It was funny.
I thought I had a stroke.
Yeah, the look on your face was amazing. You're like, what? And so we had the best seats in the whole theater. We were 1, 2, 3, about 4 rows, but they were really spread out the first 4 rows for the wheelchair people.
Right, and you could tell that there was a gap right there.
Yeah, there was a There was a gap right in the space.
There was a grap at Crude.
We sat in the 4th row, and there was no one sitting in front of us because that's where you pull the wheelchairs. So that was the perfect spot.
Yeah.
We had the perfect angle. It was perfect. So as we were waiting, I'm like, I have to go see this other theater. Mm-hmm. So I went into Theater 2. Oh, Steven said, just go. And so I went. So Theater 2, the full-size theater. Theater 1, though, that's the bad theater.
That was it. And somehow I had it in my mind. It was 3.
Well, I could see how you miscounted because it goes 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Well, you can't see my hand motion, but so anyway, I literally walked in there and I literally had to get out. Man, it was so claustrophobic. All those people just kind of scrunched in that room.
Yeah, it's like they're sitting on your lap.
And it's weird though because it's like Twilight Zone shit. Oh, it's like Twilight Zone crap.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
Holy crud.
Crude.
So anyway, man,
and
how many episodes have we done? That's the first time any of us cussed, or me cussed.
Oh, to that extent,
you never cussed.
Well, I've said a few hells and dams.
Oh yeah,
nothing terrible. But when you're in that theater, I mean, if you turn around, you're gonna have a crotch in your face.
Exactly.
You're like, oh.
It is so weird in there.
Sorry for the graphic people.
Yeah, but man, because you got a full-size screen, but there's only 3 rows.
I know.
It's like Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
You know what I said after that? But
Yeah. Cue the famous Estranged Number 1, I think.
Is that the song? Oh,
by a
that's
French composer.
I didn't know that. Oh, anyway, so I had to immediately leave, and I was like, oh,
I take that back. A Romanian composer.
So if we ever go to the movie and they stick us in theater 1, I'm asking for my money back.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting in that theater.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
I went there with a good friend of mine to see Spectre, and we got in
For the
there.
third time?
Yes, for the third time. I got in there, and I was with my friend Aaron, and we walked in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is... Because Aaron had never seen a Bond film, so I'm wanting everything to be... I want her to be blown away by this.
Yeah.
I want her to say, that was cool, and I'm like, oh great, we're in this theater. I forgot this existed.
Yeah.
I hadn't been in here since one of those Alvin and the Chipmunk movies. We're not going to talk about that.
They might as well not even built that theater.
What was the point?
They might as well have a Showplex 7 instead of Showplex 8, because that's not a theater. Why don't they call it Showplex 7.5? That's not even a half. Yeah, how'd that go?
It's like Showplex 7 1/4 or something.
Exactly.
So, I'm not good with fractions. But
So I really thought we were going to have to sit in that theater,
I
but
did too. I just got my numbers.
I'm glad you did,
Yeah, you're
because
welcome.
now we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But thank God, if we did sit in there and watched, you wouldn't have heard the whole podcast. You wouldn't have heard no movie review.
We would have.
It'd be me ranting about Theater 1.
Yeah, that's all you
from the
would have heard.
Showplex.
That's all you would have heard.
All right, now tell them. Now this sounds weird. Tell them about the bathroom incident.
Okay, well, before the movie started, the trailers were going on and on and on.
Those are so long
My
trailers.
Gosh, they did.
How many movies? What's that guy's name? Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart
He's
and
like
Ice Cube, both of them
Two different
are in one movie together, and then both of them have 2 separate movies. I'm like, what is this? They're just trying to capitalize on capitalize?
Yeah, I mean, we're nothing against those guys, but I just thought that was weird.
Yeah. But, okay, while all that was going on, I was like, okay, I got to go to the bathroom.
He did.
I did, because I had drank some water before we got there, and I'd got a drink while I was there. So I always go into I always use a stall.
Don't blame me.
Personally.
Well, before one, because I went to the restroom before. Well, when I went to go
And
find
I don't
Theater
like
1.
public restrooms to begin with.
Yeah. Well,
I hate them.
so when I went to go look for Theater 1, I said I might as well use the restroom while I'm here. So I don't blame you using the stall because the urinal's on the floor almost. You're a tall man.
I am.
That would
For
be
you
like,
people, I'm about 6'2", so I am pretty.
I mean, to me, I thought the urinal was low. It's like peeing on the wall.
I know.
Or peeing on the floor.
Peeing on the floor.
Yeah, I like a high urinal.
I do too. It's
So I
like
don't-
John Candy and Uncle Buck when he has to use the bathroom at the school. He has to get down on his knees because the urinals are so close to the floor. Rest in peace, John Candy.
So I don't blame you using the stall.
Well, thank you. But anyways, I go in there into the I go to the stall, and of course it's handicap accessible. And there's the rail, and there was this black. It was mounted on this black board, and I'm standing there doing my business, and I'm just looking around. And I look down at it, and of course there's always graffiti, and people always write crude things. People always write crude things in the bathroom. I looked down on there, and someone had written John F. Kennedy.
On the
I'm
rail.
serious.
On the rail.
On the little wooden part that the rail was mounted to.
And it wasn't you.
It was not me because they spelt his name wrong. They spelt it Kennedy. Well, it's Kennedy. But someone wrote John F. Kennedy's name down, and I thought
Is it in pencil?
it's like Sharpie.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know, and I'm like, of all people, I'm the one that saw that, and of course, Stu, you know my affinity for President Kennedy. I have an affinity for President Kennedy.
But just to graffiti something and to write that is so weird.
Yeah, of all things.
And then you seen it too.
I know, like John F. Kennedy. What?
This graffiti is for you.
I guess so.
And then
Like Jason said, what'd you say? Oh, he was here or something like that.
Oh yeah, maybe he was there.
Yeah, and I said, how come I think I said, well, how come he didn't call me?
Because you have been dinosaur.
I know, JFK Rex.
Yeah, watch episode 2.
Yeah, that was 2.
Of Good Night Sleepyhead.
I'm pretty sure it was 2.
That was a long time ago.
Yes, it was. That was January. Almost a year.
A year.
Almost a year. That was when we were over here on the east wall.
Yeah.
Now we're on the south wall.
Where are we going to sit now?
Where? John F. Kennedy is our co-pilot.
So, strange events happen when we go to theater.
They do, and I don't need to save that picture anymore, so I'm deleting it.
Oh, you should have kept that. Put it on Facebook.
I guess I could. That way Stu can see it.
Yeah, just Stu. So anyway.
Maybe Rob, maybe Anthony.
Yeah, I think I like that movie a lot, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again. Because I've ran into a couple movies lately. I loved it at the theater, but then when I got home, I'm like, oh, that's not as great as I thought it was.
Understand.
So now I'm in the mode or in the era of that was the best movie ever. Never want to see it again because I don't want to spoil it.
I hear you. It was so good that you don't want that. You don't want to lose.
I don't want that magic gone.
Right. And I have to say, since November 5th, I have seen 3 really good films. All 3 of them have kind of met my expectations.
Which was?
Spectre, which I saw 3 times.
Yeah.
And then I did see the Peanuts movie.
You saw Nuts. Huh?
I saw Nuts. I saw Brown Nuts. So.
We've been joking about if we just, Star Trek. Well, how come people don't call they call Star Trek Trek. Why don't they call Star Wars Wars? And then we got to the point, why don't they just call Peanuts Nuts?
Yeah. And then didn't I say, how come they don't call the black hole Hole?
Yeah, well,
I was watching Hole.
I was watching Hole the other day. I wish they would make a remake to Hole.
That would be very cool. But, the Peanuts movie was really good, and I know you haven't got to see that, but I think I probably will buy it when it comes out, and we will watch it here, and we'll do a review of it.
Yeah.
So.
A home video.
Video.
DVD home video.
Yeah, I've got a list here of some movies that I eventually want to consider reviewing. So.
Which is?
Well, of course, we've got Creed, so I can cross that off.
Hang
on. The Peanuts movie.
Nuts.
Nuts. Casino Royale.
Oh, yeah, we're going to review some old movies.
Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Skyfall.
Yeah.
A View to a Kill, and Cannonball Run.
All the Bond movies. Well, Roger Moore's in that.
It's a Bond movie, too.
Yeah.
We discussed that on a podcast. So.
Oh, man, this was great.
Yes.
I had a good time.
I did, too.
I'm so tired. Tell them what time the movie started.
The movie started about 10:25.
What was that?
Because we left at 12. It was about 12:51. It might have started. No, it didn't start at 10:25 because when I took that picture in the when I took that picture of the JFK graffiti in the bathroom, I had to catch myself. When I took that picture, I was looking at my phone here, and it said, you take a picture, it shows the time. It was 10:24. So the movie obviously hadn't started.
No.
But when I came back in, it had the Enjoy the Show thing that's on there for 18 minutes with that creepy music playing.
Oh, yeah.
That bothers me.
I don't like that either.
That bothers me.
I just want the movie to start by then.
That reminds me too much of the Pink Panther and the guy sitting in there all by himself. But we're not going to talk about that here.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about this. I don't know about that.
Yes. Huh. That's creepy enough as it is.
Wow.
But it probably started about 10:30. And when you and I got in my car, it was, of course, my clock is, I haven't set it back since the time change. But my clock said 1:50, and that's actually 12:50. So that was like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Yeah, I just thought that was a weird time for it to start.
I know.
Because usually, here movies need to start about 9:30.
Right.
No later than 10.
You told me it was 10:25, and what was it I said?
You're like, is there one early? And there's one like right at 7 or something like that.
Yeah, and that was too early because you and Melissa are trying to get Sam
will
put to bed.
Yeah. So there's like an hour.
Man, my left foot really hurts.
There's like an hour they could have showed that movie earlier because that movie wasn't that long.
I think it's arthritis.
Oh, that's not good.
You don't want to hear about my arthritis? I told you about my anxiety, and let me tell you about my arthritis.
So
all my ailments.
So, if someone wants to go 12 rounds with you, Steven, where they can get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me at my email address, scharwood@gmail.com. Oh, and this just came to mind.
What's that?
The movie, this is very important. When this movie, Creed, when it was released November 25th. Well, that is the 40th anniversary of the date in which Rocky fought the fight with Spider Rico.
Oh, wow.
Because if you watch Rocky, it opens up. It says Philadelphia, November 25th, 1975.
Wow.
So that was a very cool,
That is cool.
little nod to that film that they did on there, and I liked that. That was awesome. So back to emails. If they want to. If they want to learn more about Skyfall, how can they get a hold of you, Jason?
Well, you can sit with me in my living room and watch it.
That's all I can think of.
At goodnightsleepyheadshow@gmail.com. I got one more thing to
Okay. Go ahead.
I saw it. It's a goof. And even IMDb says it. They caught it too. It says they were in Liverpool.
I've got a hole in my pocket.
And so it was probably around 9 o'clock when that was on. And then Donnie, Creed's mom, was in probably L.A., obviously, because that's where he was from. Mm-hmm. And she was like in her pajamas with a glass of wine.
Yeah.
It can't be...
It can't
be nighttime there.
No.
She's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Now, see, I did not catch that.
I'm like, what? Unless she just caught it on rerun.
I don't know. So every scene that
she just avoided
her,
the internet the whole day and avoided her friends.
That whole every time it showed her watching the fight, was she in her pajamas, or was it just that one time?
No,
every time.
Well, yeah, that last fight, she was drinking the wine. It looked like she was,
I remember the wine, but I guess I didn't know she was in pajamas.
Yeah, at that last fight, she was in her pajamas.
Huh.
Creed's mom watching it in her pajamas, and that's what IMDb said. You know.
Well, I guess I didn't catch that.
So that's the only big faux pas. And, well, another mistake. And I think they got, because Rocky was sick and all that, and he's going through chemo, right?
Right.
Well, he went from looking horrible to looking average, back to horrible to looking average.
I noticed that too.
I was like,
and at one point he had his hat on. You could still, this was after he had been going through the chemotherapy and was starting to lose his hair. And at one scene, he had his hair, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, they kind of flip-flop like that.
Yeah,
I didn't like that too much. But I think the biggest one was the time difference, and I was really surprised I caught that. But yeah,
definitely.
So now I'll never watch it again. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that happens. So.
All right, thanks guys. What time is it?
It is 2:01 a.m.
Oh my God, I gotta go to bed. I'm so tired.
I do too.
Right.
My stomach's bothering me again. So
go poop like Creed.
Yeah.
Though there are some very funny parts in
there
that
were
movie, which I was really surprised.
There definitely were.
All right, see you guys.